All right, all hail the Knights of the Gimmick Table, where we spit the truth at the infamous round table, and your feelings get left at your door. I am Boogaloo, and I'm waiting on LowRyda. He's having a little bit of technical difficulties, but we'll keep this show rolling as long as we can, and without the man. But before we get started, let's start with my sponsors here for the show. Sleeves.com. Sleeves is your one stop shop for all your athletic needs. If you or anybody in your family is an athlete, then Sleeves.com is for them. They have a wide variety of things from knee pads to elbow pads to arm guards, shin guards, everything. You name it, they got it. Cups, mouthpieces, arm sleeves, knee sleeves, dick sleeves, anything you
Yeah,
need. They got even
dick
these
sleeves,
dirty
baby.
boxers. Even these dirty boxers that I like to wear right here with the elephant trunk and go dancing around the house, go outside and water the grass in these boxers. But anyways, use your promo code MWA Pod for your 10% discount. And next
What's
up,
up? All right. And next up, we have Health Vape. HealthVape.com sells healthy vaping alternatives. All of their products have no nicotine, no harmful or addictive chemicals. So make sure you pick up some of their vape and pod products using our code MWA Pod for that 10% discount. Our homeboy Alan Funk likes to say that it's like smoking a Red Bull. You know what I'm saying? So get that energy, get that boost, get that vital, restore, whatever you need. Make sure you go
didn't
pick some up.
didn't Spanish Fly like to give people the boost?
He actually did. He was he was very big on the boost.
Yeah.
Sal knows all about the boost.
Anyways, good.
Oh, my man. All right, here we go. On to the next. Let's also guys, also make sure y'all hit up. Where is it at? Oh man, I never deleted all that other shit. Uh storefrontier.com/MWA world, where you can pick up all of your Knights of the Gimmick Table merch,
There you go.
including
That nice Knights of the
boom,
Gimmick Table
get
shirt.
that shirt. Get that shirt. We're still
Yep.
waiting on ours to come in. But pick up that shirt, you know what I'm saying?
It's not
Get
just
that
a
shirt.
t-shirt. You get a
Yeah,
tank
you can
top,
get a
right?
tank top,
A
you can get
hoodie.
it you can even get it on your underoos, Boogaloo.
Oh shit! I hadn't had
So
more underoos in years.
no, but honestly, like y'all, we got shirts and stuff for basically for every show that we have. I don't think we have wrestling with sports yet,
But we will.
but we will. And we got the Knights of the Gimmick Table, and
Killing
these
the
are all
business.
shows on the MWA Podcast Network. So if y'all don't watch them yet, make sure y'all check them out. They're all available on all the podcast platforms, and if you just want to listen on audio, and if you want to watch them, you can always watch them on YouTube, so
Don't subscribe to
or
Twitch.
subscribe to us on Twitch. But yeah, they got Killing the Business with the Three Kings,
Mega.
Kingpin
Oh, Mega.
Angel, King Mega, and the Burger King Glen section.
Oh yeah.
This
Oh,
is a tribute to Paul Orndorff from Alan Funk.
it's a shoot kid.
That's a shoot kid. um what else we got here? Boom, the
Sh-
Ozzy podcast machine, Pierce Austin, shooting the shit uncensored.
yeah.
We also got that Get Funked. And if y'all haven't checked those shows out, make sure y'all check them out, man. Like Alan always has former WCW guys on, and man, his show's been a blast, man. I always like tuning in on that and catching, reliving my teenage years, But yeah, on to what else do we got? We got the
Oh, I'm sorry, man. Before we get started, I'm sorry I forgot to thank Brad Owens for that countdown. Um, Charles Redmond for that awesome video, and Cicada for that awesome music, bringing
Yeah,
us into
sorry,
the
I was
show.
having some internet issues to start. Hopefully, it sticks with us. Also, guys, make sure you follow us on Twitter and Instagram at MWA World, and subscribe to us on all the podcast platforms and YouTube at MWA Podcast Network.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Oh
like that, right?
shit.
Yeah. All right.
Thanks.
Without further ado, guys. Oh yeah, also twitch.tv/MWA World.
Subscribe.
All right, guys. Without further ado, our guest, he's
I like
a
to call him
Yeah. This is our boy, man. We love this guy. He's one of our road dogs from the jump, right?
Yep.
Sweet Bobby G.
What's
Hello,
up?
everyone. How are you? How are you guys doing?
If
Yo,
y'all
on
don't,
TV land.
if y'all haven't checked out Bobby G yet, he was on our Nasty Nate episode,
The Nasty Nate
and
Nasty Nate episode.
and he was also on the Boogaloo
birthday
birthday
bash.
bash. So
Damn, I was on twice already. I didn't
yeah,
even
bro,
realize
you're
that.
you're popular as fuck, man.
Who's T1, T2?
What?
T2.
Oh nah, man.
I know that
That's my
is
boy right there.
Ultimo,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So we got my man Ultimo in the building. He needs the dick sleeve. We we got Juan Jeremy. What's up,
Jeremy.
baby? Mr. Softy. Yeah, that's what I call him. And we got Night Teas. Yeah,
Yo, Stugats. Oh,
yeah.
all
But
right.
all right, guys. Oh, here we go. We even got
Take-
Pops in the building.
Oh, excellent.
So, guys, thank y'all for tuning in. Bobby, what's up, man? How's everything been going with you lately, man?
Everything is going pretty good.
Yeah.
Working, just working.
You
I
working
guess
a shoot?
work is
You
good.
working a shoot job? Is that what you're saying?
I got
Man?
shooting,
You got a shoot
and
job? No, no
yeah.
more.
Hey, wrestling taught me more about life than it taught me about wrestling. As funny as that sounds.
Yeah, it's true.
Nah, man. It definitely exposes a lot of people, right? Like
Yes,
you realize how a lot of people are gimmick artists.
yes,
It's like everybody. It's not just the wrestling world, right? Everybody's got some kind of agenda and
yeah.
gimmick that they're trying to
Everybody
push.
tries to kayfabe you,
Yeah,
no matter
everybody's
no
trying to
matter what
kayfabe you.
job you
Everybody's
have.
trying to. They
Ain't,
always
ain't
try to
nobody
get
worse
over
than
on
Angel
you.
with them fucking kayfabes, right? Angel's dope.
There's always motherfuckers trying to get over on you, right? At some point.
Yeah, one way or another.
Yeah.
But
Always.
Bobby, man, let me let's get this start.
All right, let's see.
Let's start it. You grew up in where? In Elmhurst, right?
I grew up in Elmhurst. I still live there. Actually, same apartment. I moved back in after my mom passed away.
Yo,
Holy shit.
lifer.
Uh,
Elmhurst
Wow, that's
lifer.
crazy.
my family is the only one that ever lived in this apartment. When my mom signed the
Day
first
one.
lease, they had just built a building.
Rest in peace, Miss Bobby G.
So it's like, yes,
Yes, yes, yes.
yeah, it's
So,
about to be
Oh, fuck.
17 years that she's
Wow.
gone.
Damn,
It's
that's
wild
crazy,
that it's that
man.
long
yeah,
ago.
yeah. Last time I saw your mom was in Target at College Point. When she was in Target at College Point. But I always used to remember like talking to you on the phone, and she'd be yelling sometimes in the background. You're like, "Mom."
I'll tell you a good story. Um, so Matt Stryker one time calls my house, and the answering machine, that's how long ago this was in the living room. And he calls me up and he's going, "Hello, gay. Hey, gay. What are you doing, gay? You with men, gay?" And he just keeps saying it. So I go grab the phone and I go, "Bro, like this is in my living room. Like, what the hell's wrong with you?" My mother's in the other room yelling. She's going, "Who's that?" I'm like, "It's Matt." She's like, "Tell him he's gay." And she's yelling, "Tell him he's gay. Is he gay?" I was like, "Oh, Jesus Christ."
Matt, my mom wants me to tell you you're gay. He's probably
But
like,
I don't know which one
okay.
of you guys did it, but one time you guys called up and it was like kind of late at night, and you played on the answer machine the entire theme song of The Rock. It was him. My mom actually thought that was hilarious.
Yeah,
This asshole.
me and my homeboys used to,
Yeah,
we
she
were
thought
still
that
young
was
as fuck.
hilarious. She
It
was
was
like, "Who
stupid.
did that?" She was like, "That was pretty funny." I was I don't know why she thought the Rock theme song was so funny, but she
You know,
did.
So
the digital phone books.
yeah,
Yes.
So I
Left
left
his
mines
digital
in the
phone book
house,
one weekend.
and this jackass and his friend started prank calling everybody. They prank call
We
Angel's mom.
we thought we were calling Angel, and then it all went
Excellent.
downhill from
I
there.
remember that.
Yeah, and then
Then
he
he
wanted to
wanted to
beat up
beat
Whip.
Whip up.
He wanted to beat Whip up
Yes,
because he
I
thought Whip
remember
was
that. Yes, it was Whip.
We prank called him. We prank called who else did we call
They
that
prank
day?
called me.
Yeah, we did.
They were like, I hear Diesel's music like. "Boo, boo."
I remember
Man.
one time, it wasn't a crank phone call, but me and Johnny were putting together a show. I think it was in upstate New York. And we were trying to think of, well, who the hell was it to wrestle? I think it was somebody to wrestle like Simon Diamond or something. So we were like talking, and Johnny was like, "What about Chris Candido?" So I was like, "Well, you don't know who's showing up with Chris Candido. Like if he comes and he's sober, the match is going to be fantastic. If he's all fucked up, then we have a mess."
Right.
So I said, "What about Barry Horowitz? Does he still, will he do it?"
Yeah,
So Johnny goes,
baby.
"Yeah, Barry Horowitz is good." He goes, "Here's his phone number. You call him." Okay. So I get home and I call Barry Horowitz. He thought it was a rib.
Oh yeah.
And he's going like, "Who the hell is it?" And I'm like, "No, Johnny Rods told me to call you. We're doing a show in upstate
Fuck
New
you
York."
and Johnny.
And he was like, "Nah, man." He's like, I was like, "No, we want to put you on a show." Like just
Like,
call
don't
up
nobody
Johnny.
wanna
Here's
book
his
me.
phone number.
See what Bobby and telling you is like, yeah, I want to book you on this show, and then you do the back slap.
Yes.
But when you called him, did you tell him? Did you do? Were you pretending to be Johnny, or were you telling him?
No,
"Hey,
I
this
was
is Bobby G"?
that would have been ridiculous.
Hey,
No, I was
Bobby,
talking
Bobby.
like me and saying who I was and everything, like trying to be very professional, and he just wasn't buying it and he hung up on me.
He's like, hey,
Another
Barry,
good one was when we did Fernwood.
which
We
show?
did this thing with Tony Atlas, and then I was going to manage the Barbarian to wrestle Tony Atlas. So Johnny tells me, "Call the Barbarian and, book him." So I go, "Okay." So I call the Barbarian, I leave a message. And it's like,
Did you say,
it's like,
"Hey,
I don't know where
Barbarian,
the
this
hell
is
he lived.
Bobby G"?
Yeah. So I leave a message. I'm like, "It's a show for Johnny Rogers in Pennsylvania. You'll be wrestling Tony Atlas, all this shit." And wherever the fuck he lived, it must have been like, it must have been, earlier there or something. So like 1 a.m., I'm in bed and the phone rings. So I wake up. I'm like, "Wow, what the hell's going on?" And when it kicks on, the Barbarian is just yelling.
What the fuck?
Like, so I got waken up by the Barbarian. I was like horrified.
I would have never deleted that message.
Yeah, I don't think I have it anymore. But it was kind of scary because it was just like some dude yelling woke me up, and I was like, "What the hell is this?"
Something
And
at the
it's like,
house.
who is this? Fuck. It was like so, like just angry.
What the fuck, man? That's crazy shit, man.
Yeah, the crank calls though used to be great when we all did a show in
Davis.
Ohio.
What's up, Mega?
The entire way there, we just crank called everybody.
Yeah.
What's his Mike Tobin? We crank called the guy who was booking us, Johnny Glitter, because
Johnny Glitter.
we found out that Johnny Glitter did. He actually played guitar for Journey, but
What?
like later on, not like when they were
Not
big,
the original
like
Journey.
afterwards.
Like when they needed a replacement guitar
Yeah.
player.
Yeah,
it's not
like
the
they
original
needed
Journey if he's
somebody,
in
and
it.
it was afterwards. So Flex kept calling him, and he was like, "Hey, it's Steve Perry is from
Aerosmith,
Journey,
right?
right?"
No, I thought Steve.
No,
Listen, I couldn't. tell
Steve
you.
Perry is Journey, and Joe Perry is Aerosmith.
Okay.
I think.
Are they brothers?
So he kept calling up, and he was like, "Yo, Johnny Glitter, what's going on? This is Steve Perry." But he would like sing. He would like sing the Journey song to him. And he would go, "I should have been gone." And I was like, "Well, why is he singing?"
Oh
Yeah.
no!
Like he just like for like 5 hours, he just kept calling him, going, "Yo, it's Steve Perry. I should have been gone."
Oh
Hey,
man.
so one time we're driving to go do a show, and Stryker was in the car and Guapo and all. So we like, let's prank call Johnny. So we go prank call Johnny, and
Yeah, we're coming
we
back
give it to
from Pennsylvania
we give it to
from
Guapo.
office.
No, we were going. We were
Were we
going.
going?
Yeah, we
Why
were
do I
going.
feel like
Yeah,
it was
this was
late?
before the show. It was before the show.
I felt
So
like it was late. Did we
so
just get back on the
we
car and
give
start
Guapo the
prank
phone,
calling again?
and we're like, Guapo, say you're satanico. So he's like, so he starts talking to Johnny. He goes, hey Johnny, it's me, satanico. He's talking to him in Spanish. He goes, well, he kept calling him.
And he kept calling Webble.
He kept calling him Webble. He
He
goes,
kept
yeah,
calling
Webble.
Johnny Webble.
He goes, yeah, Webble, I'm gonna come down there. And Johnny's like, yeah. He goes, you got any boys? He goes, yeah, I got a lot of good boys over here. He goes, all right, I'm gonna come down this week and check them out. For so maybe give them a tryout. And Johnny's like, yeah, come on down. He's like, all right. He kept going, all right, Webble, I'll see. And young girl, I was like, man.
That was a quality
Like, I was like, I
fucking
can't believe
van
I just
ride.
called Johnny Rods or what?
But he called him Webble like probably like 40 times in
Yeah.
the
Every
5-minute
other
conversation.
word in the sentence was a Webble. Hey, Webble.
He was like, "Oh yeah, Webble."
Maybe that's how Satanico talked to Johnny. He guessed right.
It was so funny. Guapo had me dying that day.
Yeah, that was fucking nuts, man. I miss that shit. I miss road trips like that, bro.
Yeah.
Like, when right now when we're doing a road trip, it's like a 25-minute drive. So
Right.
it's not really a road trip.
That was
anymore.
always the best part.
The best part,
Yeah.
was getting there.
Like
riding
the
there
match-
or like staying there and
staying there or driving there afterwards, all that bullshit.
You get there, it was like wrestle for 15 minutes, then get back in the car and do it
Exactly.
again.
I used to tell people like the match is like 8 minutes, 12 minutes. Like that's all it is. It's over before it begins.
Hours
I think we spent more
after were like
we spent
the
more
best
time in
parts of the show.
getting food than actually.
Yes. When me and Charlie used to wrestle for this guy in Pennsylvania, we used to drive up there. We'd stop at the hell's that place?
Cracker Barrel.
Cracker Barrel. Thank you. We used to stop at
I
Cracker
like how
Barrel.
Louis knew that just off the top of his head.
Yes.
He's like, yeah, Cracker Barrel.
Wrestling one stop shop.
Yeah, we would go to Cracker Barrel, then we would drive, do the show, then we would go to like this casino that was up there, and we would eat there and hang out, and then drive home.
That's just funny.
You guys, do you remember when we went to Massachusetts?
Yes.
And we were all in the same truck.
Yeah, remember that bullshit? Like, oh no, you and Damien, we're gonna all ride together. This is Johnny. Well, all right, okay. And we're at Mr. Clean's truck, and then me and Damien are in the trunk of the fucking car, looking at each
the
other.
luggage.
Yeah, with all the luggage, we're just standing there looking at each other. I'm like, shit, man.
And then, so Johnny's trying to teach a lesson, of course, and I just want to go to Massachusetts. Like, I don't want to know this lesson, And Mr. Clean goes to sleep, so Johnny could drive. And then Johnny,
who the fuck was driving if it's Mr. Clean's car?
Yeah, I was like,
so Johnny's driving.
Mr.
Clean went to sleep.
I couldn't see who was driving because I was in the trunk.
He was in the trunk.
Luggage.
Yeah, luggage.
So then,
blocking your view.
We're driving, and Johnny would go, "Oh, I don't know what highway to take. I don't know which way to go." And I'm going, "Johnny, you go this way, right?" Because I looked at the direction. So I'm like, "Johnny, you go this way." Because nobody else was answering, he would go the wrong way.
On purpose?
On purpose. And then he would go, "Oh, did I go the wrong way?" And I'm like, "Yes." And it's like the whole way there, like either nobody's paying attention or the other people are not learning.
Everybody was sleeping though. It was you in the back, right, with Nana and Musketeer.
No. Nana was in the truck with us until we met the Musketeer.
No.
And then he went in the Musketeer car, didn't he?
No, it was you. Okay, this is what it was. The back seat was you, Nana, and Flex. Then when we got to the Musketeer, then me, Flex, and Damien went in the Musketeer's car.
Okay. So I just remember we were driving home, and we're by Citi Field. It was Shea Stadium still. And Johnny goes, I said, "Johnny, you're going to drive right by my house."
Like, you got mad.
Huh?
He got mad. Remember, he got
Yeah.
mad.
So I go, Johnny, you're gonna drive, because then Damien went, oh, then you're gonna drive by my house, and then Johnny lost it, and then I started yelling at Johnny, and I was like, Johnny, I am not going all the way to Cross Bay Boulevard.
Yes, that's where
Because you said that we should leave the car, because we didn't leave the car there. Remember, we took a
we
bus.
took the train. Yeah, we took the train. No, we took the bus.
We took the train to the bus
Q60.
and went
Yeah,
up.
we took the Q60 all the way down. Yeah.
So I'm like, I am not going back to. I was like, just let me out here, and me and Johnny having a fight.
Yeah, because
everybody was like, oh shit, like Bobby and Johnny are yelling at each other, and I was like, there is no way I was like, just pull over. I'll just get out here.
Yeah, because we drove right through the Bronx, and Flex lived in the Bronx.
Yeah, that was one of the worst
Queens,
because Johnny just kept trying to teach these lessons. I always remember when Johnny took us to Texas, it was me and Flex going to Texas.
Yeah.
So is Flex on here? So Flex goes, so Johnny goes,
I don't know.
Bobby, do not get Flex. I want him to meet us at the airport. I want to see if he's pro, all this kind of shit. I knew that Flex was not going to make it to the airport.
Hey, you see this shit?
What happened?
Roger stranded Louis. You remember that shit?
Oh.
Connecticut?
I remember that one.
Angel, what's up, brother?
That was when we met those girls. I remember, am I allowed to say it on this?
Yeah.
Could I say the male C word?
Yeah, go ahead.
Louis went up to Roger after. He was like, you cockblock Bobby.
Oh, yeah, you could say that.
And Roger's like, I was with her first, and I'm dying from laughing. One thing about Louis, he always defended his friends no matter what.
Yeah, he definitely did.
Because Roger was talking to the girl first, but I walked over. I don't know what the hell was going on. And then she invited me to her room, and Roger is not leaving. Like he's not. He followed her in the bathroom.
Yeah, he followed in the bathroom.
He follows her in the bathroom. He came out of the bathroom, and he goes, Bobby, whatever you did to that girl, I think she's in love with you. And I'm like, yeah. Could you just leave?
Can you get the fuck out of here?
Hey, but want to know something, Bobby? Good thing you left. You left because that's the one you got pregnant.
Yes. So that's what happens when you cockblock me. Your life is over.
Yeah.
You end up with a good son, but the rest of it has been hell.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead with the Texas story, though.
So Johnny tells me, do not get Flex, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm like, Flex is never going to make it to the airport on time. So I'm like, Flex, stay off my house. So when we come up the escalator in the airport, Johnny's standing there looking at me, and he was like, Bobby, I was like, bro, he was not coming. I was like, he was not going to show up. And that was when Flex forgot his ID.
He forgot his ID.
He forgot his ID. At that time, he was still flying.
Yeah.
But when we got to Texas, I guess they have such problem with immigrants and stuff like that, So Flex didn't have a driver's license or nothing. They were not going to let him get on the plane. And he just sat down and didn't know what to do. And Johnny was like, bro, what are you going to stay in Texas? What are you going to do? So he was like, Bobby, go take care of this. So I'm talking to the lady.
It ain't like they would think he's Mexican.
Yeah, I was like, Miss, just look at the flight record. He got here. I was like, you want me to sign a paper and say that he's American? I'll do that. You have to let him back on the plane.
This guy doesn't even know how to live life yet.
I used to hate when Johnny would want to teach the lesson, and I was there. Because it used to drive me. I used to be like, Johnny, but you know that you're trying to teach this lesson because this person, whoever it is not going to do it. This is not going to work. What happened to my camera?
I don't know. That's why
somebody didn't want to see my face.
It's all right. Just keep talking.
There we go. You're back. I think Louis got tired of seeing your face.
I can't do nothing with the camera. Yeah, jackass. Yeah, so
Angel wants the doctor, Red
Yeah,
Young Doctor
he
firm.
wants the red young.
I
Oh,
always
look,
tell.
hold
goes
on. I
Sal.
told you
There
this
goes
dude was
Sal
gonna
right
be
there.
here.
Oh, there's Sal. Excellent.
Come on, man. Why you always gotta come on here talking about
He's
PR?
Damn,
so
I'm late.
such a
You're a
racist.
racist fuck.
No, I'll tell a good story. The first time you guys, I will tell the doctor story, Angel. The first time you guys asked me to hang out with you,
Hold
you
on
still
one
had
second.
that van.
Juan, you still can't see Bobby's face, or
Yeah, it's
is he
fine.
back?
He's
I
back.
know he's fine on
I
our
can see him.
side. I
Yeah,
just
don't
want
worry
to make
about
That's
it.
all
sure.
They
right.
can see him.
All right, go ahead.
So you still had that van,
The gray
right?
one.
You had like that cargo van, whatever the hell it
Yeah,
was.
yeah.
Yeah. So we were all in the van, and you guys were calling each other. I can say these words. I don't remember what I'm not allowed to say.
Not the N word.
You
I
can't say the
cannot
N
say the
word.
N word. Okay.
No, you can't say the N word. You
So
can't
I'm
say
sitting
what we
there,
used to call Sal either.
and you guys were saying the N word so much, and I was so damn uncomfortable. That first time, I was like,
That was
"Holy
like
smoke! These
that
guys
was
say
like,
this a lot."
what were you talking about? Me and Flex.
It was you, whoever was in the car
No,
was
it was
saying
him
it.
and it was him and Flex because I got tired of hearing it. I was like, God,
Yeah,
will you guys shut the
and
hell
I
up?
was like, "But I'm not."
No,
I grew
the
up in
N
a
word now
Spanish
is
neighborhood, but
neighbors.
they didn't say that.
This is the N
And
word
I was
now.
like, "Holy smoke, man!" And I was so uncomfortable. Then you guys started calling me that. I was like, I'm not saying this back. It took a
Fine,
long
Joe.
time.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
The Red Young Doctor story, I don't know how funny that is. We've said it like
We said
so
it like
many
a
We
million
times.
have told
times.
it a
Yeah,
bunch of
But
times.
yeah.
the first thing was like I never, not to say anything bad about Red. I love Red. Before I say this,
Fungu Red.
Fuck you, man.
I never knew how old Red was when I was at the gym. I thought he was a kid,
Mhm.
like that just didn't know
Yeah.
You
how to
just
do
thought
things.
he was aging backwards like Mork and Mindy.
No,
Son of
I never knew that he was a year younger than me.
he hatched it as an old man.
So when we had to get our wrestling licenses,
You remember that shit?
Johnny goes, "Bobby, you gotta take Red to the doctor." So I'm like, "Okay." I'm thinking it's a kid. When I'm sitting next to Red in the doctor's office and I look at the paper and it says that he was born in 1971, I went, "You're a year younger than me?" I was like, "Why am I driving you here?" I was like, "What the hell?" So all of a sudden he looks at me and he goes, and somebody had already told me it wasn't like a real doctor test.
Yeah.
They were going to like listen to your heart and then check your eyes. And one of the bouncers told me they checked his eyes with his glasses on. I'll tell you a funny story. I know what Juan is talking about, and I'll tell that in a second. So also, Red looks at me and he goes, "Bobby, I took a shower and a bath. I made sure I was really clean. I washed my ass a lot." And I'm like, "Why?" And he goes, "Oh, because Angel told me, like, when you go in there, you have to take your clothes off."
Fucking guy.
And I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, Angel said I had to take my clothes off and they look up your butthole and all this kind of stuff." I was like, "Red, do not take your clothes off when you go in there." And all they did was they put the paddle over your eye to like read the eye chart and listen to your heart. And they were like, "Okay, you're good."
You're good to go. See you later.
See you next year.
So I used to do so much. This is a little bit cruel, but you guys are going to laugh anyway. I used to do so much for Red. And then when he got thrown out of the house and all that kind of thing and was living on the street and everything. And my mom looked at me one time and she said, "Robert, you don't need to have a kid because you have Red Young." And I went, "Yeah, Mom, but I would really like my first kid not to be a 30-year-old retarded guy."
Jesus
Oh.
Christ.
Hey,
Oh man.
That's how you got
Special
free
needs,
milk.
bro. Special needs.
Red actually, yes, Red actually
I'll never
found
forget
members
that
of his
story.
family that didn't know where he was or anything. They found
Really?
him on Facebook. It's like his cousin, and now they take him out and invite him to all the family functions and everything. And I talked to
That's
her,
fucking
and
awesome, man.
I was very happy for that
I
because
feel like he's been MIA. I haven't seen a lot of him on Facebook lately.
I have not seen Red for a while.
He might have got
On there.
banned.
I don't know. Facebook does weird stuff.
Yeah, they be banning people for silly shit. He was probably like, Sasha Banks, I like your hair. And they were like,
Bam.
banned.
All right. So
I'll tell you what, Red, like one thing about wrestling, when Red is one of the most normal people that you know in wrestling, you know that wrestling is messed up.
all right. I want to rewind a little bit. I wanted you to go back to your first day at Gleason's and then go into
Oh,
how
man.
you became one of the bookers and Johnny's right hand man.
Okay. So a friend of a friend was going to Gleason's. I did not know where Johnny's school was.
Now, was he going to Gleason's for wrestling? Or
Yes,
was
for
he,
wresling.
Okay.
He was going for, he was
Who's
like,
this
you know
friend of a
what?
friend?
And so I was like, man, I always wanted to go. And he was like, yeah, go talk to him. And the first time I went to Johnny,
Who's the friend of a friend?
Was
it Teddy?
You know
That
what?
guy Teddy?
No, I don't remember what the
Teddy
guy's name
Pendergrass?
was. And I'll tell you the truth. When I started, the guy was already gone.
Oh, okay.
He did not last.
Well, he probably got beat up by Angel.
Something happened.
He probably paid too quickly.
So the first time I went, Johnny was not there. I think he was in Florida with his family. Angel was there. And Angel was in the ring by himself doing that thing where he slammed into the turnbuckle and then like flew out and took the bump.
Mm-hmm.
So I went and I had read about Angel in one of the magazines that actually showed like all the indies at that time, you know. So I was talking to Angel and Red was outside the ring. Remember his red and white.
Yeah,
So Red started before you. That's right.
Yeah. So Red was outside the ring. Eli the Bull was outside the ring as somebody else.
Oh,
and Angel was training by
Who
himself.
the fuck was Eli the Bull?
He was the guy that wore the leather trench coat.
Oh, I do remember that dude. Yeah,
And then I asked him to lose
big guy.
one time to Hulko, and he quit.
You told him what now?
I asked him one time to lose the Hulko, and he quit.
Well,
No, I apologize to
yo,
Nana.
Hulko was over as fuck, bro.
Yeah, I asked him. Eli was a face. I asked him to lose to Nana,
Oh well, hey, I
And-
wouldn't want to
and
lose to
he
Nana
and he quit
either.
the school.
Man, fuck that guy.
Yeah,
You know what, man? And then you think about it, right? It's probably just because he was racist and he didn't want to lose to Nana. Fuck you, Eli
it
the
was
Bull.
like
Yeah, fuck you,
we'll talk about that in a second. So when I went back, I was still working at Good Morning America, and there was a party in the
I don't
city.
even remember you working at Good
Yes, he
Morning
did
America.
work at
Yeah.
Good Morning America.
So I'm in a suit, going to this party in the city. And when I walked in to talk to Johnny, I had scheduled the appointment and everything. I remember what he looked like when I used to go to Madison Square Garden. So what's that boxing trainer's name? Rocca?
Which one?
His last name is Rocca. I don't remember what his first name is. Juan knows him.
Okay.
See if Juan posts his name. That guy know everything about boxing, but he's not like in shape or anything like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, he's I don't think he boxed actually. He's just a trainer.
Right.
And an excellent trainer. But I haven't seen Johnny for like years, right? Because like, how the hell I didn't go to Madison Square Garden no more and all that kind of crap. So
fuck.
I see the boxing trainer guy, and he's asleep in the corner, and he looked like shit,
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my god, is that Hector Rocca? Thank you.
Yeah.
So I'm like, fuck, is that Johnny Rods? I go, if that's Johnny Rods, I don't want to learn from this guy. Like, he looked like he had a hard life.
Yeah.
Like, what he gonna teach me? You look like shit.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, Johnny comes walking over, and he was doing something on the ring, and he had the apron on and that. When he comes walking towards me, I went, "Oh no, that's him. Okay, he looked okay."
Did he have his fanny pack on?
Yes.
He had the it looked like he had the apron from when he was like bringing the newspapers and stuff. You know, it was like that apron. So Johnny kept me there for, I think it was like 2.5 hours we were talking. He bought me a Gatorade, and we stood by the window because remember where the steps used to be? Mm-hmm. And then they made that Bruce's office.
Yeah.
We were standing over there by the window drinking Gatorade. It was like 2.5 hours. And I'm trying to figure out what the hell is going on, like with the things that he's asking me and everything. And finally I went, I don't know what you're trying to figure out, sir, but like I have money. And he went, I don't need your money. What I need your money for? So I was like, oh, okay. So I was like, well, you're trying to think of something here, but like whatever. And then I joined the school, and I always used to talk to him about wrestling. And I know there was a lot of people like, why is Robert always in the office? Bobby always in the office?
Yes.
Everybody had a problem with that.
He should be working on his roles and not talking shit.
But
why aren't you in there rolling?
Asking one thing, Johnny, with me was when I would ask questions about wrestling and different things, like he always answered truthfully.
Yeah.
So
he wasn't working you.
How this all started, where like I started doing the shows with him and being like his assistant, right-hand man, whatever you want to call it, was the first thing was Damian Dragon had booked the Cruiserweight title tournament.
Yep.
Okay. So I was sitting in Johnny's, and Damian's a great guy, great worker he was, and you two had great matches together. You and him. Fantastic.
That guy.
Fantastic matches with him.
I like your
and we did a lot.
When he come with his accent. Yeah, you got this accent.
You're fantastic. Comes out
fantastic.
With a Spanish accent.
Oh. So anyway. So I'm sitting in there. Hey, over here. So I'm sitting in there, and Damian comes with the tournament and shows it to Johnny. And Johnny goes, okay, this looks good, but who wins? And Damian goes, I do. So Johnny looks at him and goes, so you're the champion? And he goes, yeah. So he's like, okay. So when he walks out, I had read it, and every cruiserweight in the school was in the tournament. So if Damian is the face and he wins, even if he didn't wrestle somebody, he beat them.
Yeah.
Because he won the whole tournament and everybody was in it. So he beat them. So the only person that he could wrestle after that would make any sense, I was the only other cruiserweight at the time. Because when I joined the school, I weighed 155 pounds. I was there like 2 months. There would have been no way in hell I could have kept up in a match with Damian at that time. No way. So I looked at Johnny and I went, Johnny, could I ask you a question? And he goes, yeah. I go, he wins, so he beats everybody. So who the hell does he wrestle after? And Johnny goes, oh, so you're smart. Well, he didn't say it like that. He said, you're smart. Right? I won't do his accent, but there was no R when he said smart. So he goes, you're smart. So I go, oh, okay. So he was like, oh, okay. So now, like the next week, I come to him and I go, Johnny, I made a match. Could we do this? So you had to see his face. He was just like this guy been here like a month and he's already wanting to book a match, So it was Irish Bruiser and who the hell was the other guy?
I know he always wrestled. I felt like he was always in matches with Johnny Fever.
Irish Bruiser and somebody else were the tag team champions, but it wasn't Joey B. Oh, it was
no, Joey B was with the other dude.
It was what's his name? It was Brown. Splinter. Bobo Brown. Thank you. It was Bobo Brown and Irish Bruiser were the tag team champions. So I used to manage the bouncers when I started, right? So I go, Johnny, I want to do this. I go, we're going to cheat. Joey B was wrestling you, I think, Louis.
Okay.
And we cheated, and and you won. And then in the match with the bouncers, we cheated again. They win the
I
tag.
came out. Yeah, I came out.
Yeah,
with
they won the
Warriors.
trophy. And then Joey B ran out and started hitting me and shit. So we did. So I said to Johnny, I go, so they win the trophy. And then the next month, we have a 6-man match. Them with Joey B and me with the bouncers. I said, and then if we lose the 6-man match, they get a shot at the titles right after. So I said, so they pin me. And then while the bouncers are looking at me that I got pinned, the bell rings. They run up behind them, roll them both up, 1, 2, 3, and they get the trophy back. And all in 2 months. So Johnny was playing with quarters. I always remember that he had a handful of quarters for some reason. And he's playing with them, and he's not saying a word. And he looked at me, and he went, who gets pinned? So I went, I do. So he goes, oh. And then he's like looking in his briefcase. He's looking out the window. He's playing with these quarters. I'm just sitting there.
Drawing circles on paper.
So he asked me like 3 more times. And he goes, who gets pinned? And I'm like, me. Who gets pinned? I go, me. So after like the 5th time, I went, Johnny, I don't know what this is that you're trying to do. I went, but I get pinned. What's the problem? And he looked at me and he went, why do you get pinned? And I went, because I'm the manager. Why the hell wouldn't I get pinned? And he went, oh, okay. So we're going to do that. So we did it. And then the next month he gave me the show to make. And he was like, here's all the guys' names. You booked the show. And I always remember it had 14 matches.
Right.
And it was 14 matches.
Show, but 14
and
matches.
I think it was 4 hours. I mean, we were there from like, Johnny always started late. So say like 8:30 it finally started. I think we were there till 12:30. But one thing about that show, when it was over, I went into Johnny's office and he went, so what did you learn tonight? And I went, well, you can't have 14 matches. Because it was 4-hour show. And he goes, what else? I was like, but you did see that nobody got up. It was a 4-hour show, but after the last match, the people were still sitting there.
Yeah.
Like they enjoyed themselves so much they didn't want to go home. So it was I always remember that. It was 14 matches. Then I started booking all those crazy things to get as many people into a match as possible.
Yeah, the wacky tornado shits.
Remember that one that I had to be the referee because nobody understood what the hell was going on. And I wrote down on my hands who got eliminated when. So it was like on my hands, and there was 4 guys in each corner. That's how the teams were. It was so ridiculous. I don't even remember how the hell it went, but I remember there were 16 people, and it was like a tag team match.
Oh fuck!
But then Johnny, after I started booking the shows at the school, one of the things that Johnny did was he was working for Tommy Jeanette for a summer.
Yeah.
And he said to me, he said, Bobby, I want you to come with me. And I'm going to be doing these shows for Tommy Jeanette in Connecticut. It was only Connecticut. We didn't go to any other state. And he said, you come. He said, bring your referee gear. Bring something so you can ring announce. He said, bring your wrestling stuff. He said, whatever they give you to do it. He said, if you get money or you don't get money, don't worry about it. He goes, I'm paying for everything. He said, what I want you to do is sit in the locker room and don't say a word. He goes, just pay attention. He goes, and when we were in the car later driving home, you could ask me whatever you want. And I would just sit there and like listen to everybody talking. And then I remember Doink.
Ray Apollo?
Ray Apollo, thank you.
Okay.
Doink was talking to
150
those twin guys. Remember the Power Twins, that tag team that Cousin Luke booked all over the place?
Who the fuck were the Power Twins?
They were these 2 big muscular guys. They were horrible.
They suck.
But like Cousin Luke would book them all over. So they were talking to Ray Apollo, and they go, Ray, how was it working for Vince? And Ray Apollo was only in WWE for 8 months.
Right.
And the only reason he could not say anything bad about him, but the only reason he got the job was
He was
because
friends with somebody. Bam Bam.
you had to know how to do the paint yourself.
Yeah, but he was good friends with Bam Bam Bigelow.
Yeah, but that's the only reason he got the job was because he knew how to. Because they didn't have makeup people at that time. If you couldn't paint your face, you couldn't be doing.
These guys?
Yes, those guys.
They suck.
So they go, "What is it like to work for Vince?"
They're like my height too, dude. They
Really?
were short. Yeah, they were short.
So he goes, "What is it like to work for Vince?" And Ray Apollo goes, "What do you think it would be like to work for Hitler?"
What the fuck?
Yes. And then he's telling this story about Vince Sr. always had, now that I just told the story about Johnny, always had quarters in his hand. And he's telling that story to them. And I'm like, but how the hell would Ray Apollo know
about Vince
Sr.? He was already dead.
Yeah.
I'm like, he heard this story from somebody else, you know? And he's telling this story. He was like, oh, and Vince Sr. was good, but Vince Jr. is a prick and all this stuff. So we were driving home, and I went, Johnny, what was it like to work for Vince McMahon? So he's like, which one? And I'm like, the son. And he goes, I never had any problem with him. He was always good to me. So he goes, why? And I told him the story, and he goes, well, if you knew who trained that guy, then you know why he's like that. And I went, oh, these guys? And he was like, yep. He goes, see, that's why I want you around to pay attention.
He was trained by Sonny Peach. I mean, not Larry Sharp, right?
I don't really remember at this moment. But I just remember Johnny, because he had told me about different people and how they were. Yeah. And as soon as he said, if you knew who trained that guy, and I went, oh, this person. And he was like, okay, you pay attention. Hey. And Johnny really, even though I would wrestle on the shows at the school and all that kind of thing, it was about a year and a half before I wrestled on an outside show. I would always referee. I would always manage everything. Yeah. But Johnny taught me the business from like backstage to the ring instead of learning the ring first.
You want to know something funny? Remember we went to Connecticut to wrestle for Tommy Jeanette, right?
Yeah.
And I'm wrestling Roger, and you were my manager. And fucking Roger's like, oh, I want to hit the big elbow off the top rope for the finish. I'm like, all right, no problem. And he comes and he fucking slams me, right? Roger slams me. And then he goes to the top rope, but he slammed me facing the wrong direction. So he would have to come off with a left-handed elbow. Yes. And I was like, fuck this. I'm just going to stand here. He's going to have to do a left-handed elbow because I ain't moving. So I made him throw up a left arm elbow, right? The match is over. He goes, you should have moved because, this. I'm like, so why the fuck did you slam me that way?
Yes.
Why would
I remember that.
That just looks fucking stupid. Why would I move?
There were so many things. I remember.
We got a special guest popping in real quick.
Hold on one second. Hey.
Oh no,
look
it's
at this
Angel.
handsome bastard.
What's up, fuckers? What's up, my neighbor?
Oh, it's gonna look like the Brady Bunch in a little bit.
I know. Everybody's wearing glasses. Well, besides these two.
I don't need glasses.
How you doing, Angel? All right?
I'm doing all right, brother. Doing all right, man. I'm just listening to your story. I'm surprised you didn't bring up Jerome.
He wasn't there for Jerome.
He wasn't there for Jerome?
No.
The black version of Red Young?
No, I wasn't there for Jerome.
No.
I thought he was.
I thought you said his name was Black Young.
I had enough people that I had to deal with while I was there.
He was awesome, man. He used to be, I still remember to this day, he came on the city bus in a trench coat with nothing underneath besides a pair of Speedos and a tank top. And he looked like a flasher. And he used to he called himself the ultimate vandal. I'm the ultimate vandal. And Fabian used to sick him on the other wrestlers like a dog. Get him, Jerome. Get him. He used to go buck wild on motherfuckers and shit. I miss that dude. I used to pop for that fucker.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
We used to have, what's his name? The Destroyer? Stuttering Jose.
Remember Stuttering Jose? The Mass Destroyer?
That was a great
he slapped it.
Yes, he was.
My favorite was Carlos.
Carlos, Deaf and Dumb Carlos.
When I asked him, when I asked him, I said, "Hey, Carlos," because he read lips, and people out there don't know that he read lips. And I said, "Hey, man, your wife is deaf too, right? And mute." And he's like, "Yeah." And he goes, "How do you make love? How do you say I love you without falling down when you're having?"
Yeah, fucking ass.
And he used to be like, "Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you."
I remember Angel
He
telling
always
me
like-
that he was in ECW and Deaf and Dumb Carlos showed up and like you ran and hid.
No. It was in Connecticut, and it's like you said, it was true. But this is what happened. He walked in like out of nowhere, and he's told.
Did he have his bag with him?
He had his bag and everything, and
regular work.
and then Tommy's like, "Hey, this guy here, he say he's from Gleason's, and he said he wants a tryout." And he looked at me, and Roger was sitting next to me, and he's like, "Well, Angel, if you vouch for him, we'll give him a try. But if he's the shit, it's on you." I said, "No, I brought
I don't
Roger
know
in,
that motherfucker.
and I said, I brought Roger in. Look where it got me, man. So let hit fall on his shoulders."
I don't
Roger
know that motherfucker.
And Roger was like, "Nah, man, I don't want him under my ticket. So I'm not doing it." I wasn't being mean, but I said, "No, Roger, it's your turn to, I got you in, and then you get him in." And he didn't let him do it. He didn't have the match. So I felt bad, because I didn't want the heat on me. That's the straight shit, I was like, "I don't want the heat on me. You give it to Roger." And shit.
Angel stories were always good. I remember him telling me a story. ECW used to put together the ring, and then you could go in and work out before the show.
Yep.
So Angel goes, "Bobby, you know what happened?" He goes, "Billy Walker and Texas Rose were there." He goes, and after they put up the ring, Billy come out dressed in the cowboy outfit with the rope, and he's screaming and yelling all this shit. He was like, "Bobby, I was waiting for him to start like twirling it and jumping through it."
Full gimmick. I'm always down for a workout.
I'm always
You hear me,
down
boy?
for a workout.
You hear me, boy? I'm always.
He used to make me pop. He used to make me pop, but him and Vito, oh my god, they were classics. When he got kicked out of the hotel room because I did the Tommy Jeanette shows, and
with the saddle, right?
Oh, in Salamanca, New York. Vito was like, and he walked in with the saddle. I mean, full gimmick cigarette dangling, and he walks in, and me and him, and we're talking. Armand standing there, and then and he just stopped the conversation. Like he's talking to us, and then he just looks at him, like just turns and goes, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Hey, Tommy Jeanette says I'm bunking with you. What you doing? What about the saddle?" He goes, "Saddle comes in with me." He goes, "Well, there's only room for either you or the saddle." So you pick. And then he just said, "Nah." So he ended up, he told Tommy he won't be able to stay with Vito. So he said he was going to sleep in his truck. And we looked out the window, and he literally like laying in the back of that truck with a blanket.
Was it a pickup truck?
Yeah, it was like a pickup truck, and he put the
saddle.
He put the saddle like in the cowboy movies, and then he tips the hat.
As fuck, bro.
He tips the hat.
That's gangster as fuck, though. Yeah,
and the leaves,
that's legit, man.
And the leaves and all that shit is just because it's
the leaves.
Yeah, man, because it was, you see like shit flying over garbage bags, and we're like, because it was like at the end, it was right the last show. It was close to the September, so like really in the middle of September. But anyway, we're just like. And we're like, he's really gonna stay in the truck? Vito, let him stay. Nah, man, fuck him. Either him or the saddle.
Bro, I would have looked out the window and I would have started throwing water balloons or fucking buckets of water out the window.
Yeah, Vito used to torment him, man. I mean, I pop for it. I mean, I pop for it all the time, but but anyway, but that was just. I love Tommy Jeanette shows, even though I didn't get
Tommy
paid.
Jeanette shows were fun, yeah.
They were fun.
They were good shows.
All right, Angel, stop trying to be a glory hound, bro.
Cousin Luke.
You're ready to steal all the heat when you're on your own shows, bro.
Here's a story that you guys don't know. Cousin Luke actually messed those shows up because Tommy Jeanette did the ring announcer for us in Fernwood. And he said to Johnny, "What does this guy do for you? What does Bobby do for you?" So he's like, "Just watch him." So I'm like running the back, did the match, making sure everybody's on time, everything's okay, So Tommy Jeanette said, "Bobby, I want you to come and do these 2 shows." I wrestled Matt Striker on both of them. One was in Maine and one was in Connecticut. He's like, "I want you to come do these shows, but you're going to do this." So afterwards, he was like, "Bobby, he goes, I got to go to these like conventions of the people that do like the, like the fairs, the country fairs and all that kind of thing. And like that's where they pick out the vendors from.
Mhm.
So like who's the amusement rides, who's wrestling, who's this, who's that, whatever shows they have. So he goes, because, I can't always make these. And, cousin Luke goes and he's standing there in overalls, sweating, rubbing a towel on his head. He's like, it's not professional. He's like,
half fucking dead.
He's like, so I want you to go with him and you put on your suit and everything like that and you go with him. So Tommy Jeanette was like, you could book whoever you want on the show. And cousin Luke just booked the guys that he always books. Like, I'm not taking anything away from him. I just want to make sure we keep getting all these shows. Cousin Luke got so scared to like lose his spot because that was the only money that he had and everything that he was making. So he fucked it all up. And I never did anything. And then the shows all got done. That's how that all fell apart. Because Tommy Jeanette couldn't go himself and cousin Luke was too. And I always remember, I feel bad now since he's dead. But cousin Luke one time, I don't. I don't. No, he knows I don't. I'm just trying to be nice. But I remember it was when Luke was getting sick and everything like that, and he had to go. Tommy Jeanette was sending him to one of those conventions, and this is after he screwed me out of it. So cousin Luke called Johnny, and Johnny's like, "Okay, Bobby, cousin Luke on the phone, and he's asking if you could go with him to the convention, and just drive to his house, and then you could take his car because he's having trouble with his back. He can't drive." And I just went, "Tell cousin Luke to go fuck himself. That I am not going there to do shit. He could go drop dead for all I care."
Yeah.
And he hurt me.
Bobby, baby.
And Johnny, and he was like, "Oh, what's wrong with him?" And I was like, "Come on, man." I was like, "He screwed me out of that deal. Now he want me to drive him there? Fuck him." I was like, "I don't give a shit if he rots."
Fuck him sideways.
Yeah.
On Broadway.
I was like, "I don't give a shit."
Go fuck himself with Uncle Elmer's dick.
Nah,
There was always stuff like that. There was always
Did Buttafuoco ever fuck you over? Remember Joey Buttafuoco?
Joey Buttafuoco. Who the hell was Joey Buttafuoco? I remember who you're talking about, but I don't remember.
He looked like fucking Joey Buttafuoco. Remember, he was always in Johnny's office, and he used to like do the manager. He used to wear the turtleneck.
Oh yes.
Who's that guy?
And the Haiti kid.
No, I never him.
Who
did the Haiti kid ever
who's Joey
fuck you
Bush-
over?
No, the
No.
Haiti kid got drunk in his car.
And then
Tell that story.
so that's a good story. So Johnny gets this deal at a club in Staten Island. And it's me, Little Genie, Little Mr. T. Remember that guy? The Spanish guy? Little Mr. T and the Haiti kid. It's the four of us. And this is what the club wants. So Johnny says to me, "Bobby, you put on your stuff and you go and figure it out and collect the money." So I'm like, okay. So he's like, "And take what you want and, and pay these guys." So anytime Johnny used to tell me to do that, I knew it was, whenever he would send me to do something like that, it was like, I'm running the thing. So I always took the most money.
You were a pimp.
Well, it gets good. So we go to this club, and when I walk in, there was this guy, Little Richie, that I knew from Goldfingers.
Oh,
Okay.
Goldfingers.
So I walk in, and I'm like,
Little Richie that wrestled with us.
I'm like, look, no.
That's hella rich.
I go, Little Richie, and he's like, "Oh my God." He's like, "What the hell?" And I'm like, "No, I'm here for that wrestling thing." And he was like, "Oh man." So he brought us in this room. He's bringing us food. He's bringing us free booze. Little Mr. T brought this white guy with his kid to this thing. And they're in there. He was like supposed to be like Little Mr. T's manager or something like that. So he's like getting involved. I just keep telling this guy to shut up. Little Mr. Haiti kid was dressed like a lumberjack. And he would not put on his wrestling gear.
A neighbor.
And at one point, he told Johnny if Johnny wasn't going, he wasn't going. Johnny was like, "What are you, a little kid? I got to come hold your hand." So I'm like, this is going to be incredible. So we have no idea what we're doing in this nightclub. Little Richie comes into the room and he goes, "Hey, buddy, these are the Bud Light girls. Figure out how." There was like 5 of them or 4 of them. He was like, "Figure out how to put them in what you're gonna do. We don't even know what we're gonna do. I have no clue what this is supposed to be." So now we have the Bud Light girls come in. So I'm like, "Well, what do you girls do?" And they're like, "Well, we just throw out T-shirts and keychains and stuff like that. Like, we're not." So I'm like, "Okay." I said, "Well, you don't have to wrestle." I was like, "You just got to stand there." Then they come with these 5 strippers from this club that they owned in New Jersey come in.
The chicken house?
So they're like, "These are dancers from this club. Bobby, put them in the act too." I'm like, "What the hell show is this?"
What act?
I got 5 strippers, 4 Bud Light girls, little Genie, and 2 midgets. What show is this?
Well, that was all you had?
This is the whole show. And they put pads out on the stage, right?
Like what kind of
So we just worked this thing out. I'm like, "Okay, the strippers are with me. The Bud Light girls will come out with Genie and Little Mr. T because they're like the faces. And me and the strippers and Haiti Kid. We come out. I just cut this promo. I'm like showing off the strippers, all this kind of thing. Jeannie comes out and talks. And then she pushes me. I fall over Little Mr. T. I yell at the Haiti Kid. He punches me, gives me an airplane spin, throws me down.
Wait,
and then when I get up all mad.
He picked you up for an airplane spin?
Yeah. And then when I get up all mad, Little Mr. T got in the middle of us and he goes, "You guys would have been dying." He goes, "Look, guys, enough of this fighting. Let's dance." And the DJ started playing music and we all danced on the stage. That was the whole fucking thing. And when I got that envelope, I took like the most money. I don't remember what the hell I gave anybody. But I drive little Mr. T. I drive Haiti Kid home, and he was so drunk. They were all because we just kept getting free alcohol. So when I drop off Jeannie at Johnny's house by King's Plaza, I got the Haiti Kid. So I go, "You're going to tell me how to get to your house, right?" So he's like, "Yeah." So I go, "Buddy, if you got to throw up," and while I'm driving, I'm saying this. I go, "Well, if you got to throw up, just tell me. I'll pull over."
Yeah, so
I'm driving. He just opens up the door and starts barfing out of the car.
Yeah, I hold him out the window like this.
Just hold his foot.
You had him like a football. You had him under, like you're holding your cat.
Like you hold a baby.
Yeah, you hold a baby, hang him out.
I'm like this. So when we get to his house, it's like in Flatbush, all the way deep in Flatbush. And I don't know where the hell I am. And there was no GPS or anything like that. And I go, he goes, "Do you know how to get out of here?" And I go, "No, it would really help me if you could tell me." And he goes, "Go back the way you came." And he slammed the door. And I put down the window and I went, "Go fuck yourself, you stupid midget." I would never want. I never wanted to hate Kid around ever.
Haiti Kid was like, "Go back to where you came, cracker." And he slammed the door. And then Bobby rolled down the window. "Go fuck yourself, neighbor."
Yeah, Lego neighbor.
No, I called him a midget. I was like, "Go fuck yourself, you midget."
Oh man, no, but they're having the micro brawlers over here, Louis.
Oh, well, let's
Out
go.
by me.
They used to have that in Atlantic City all the time.
If you want to go, let's go, man.
We should storm the ring.
There was a few times Johnny would send me with people like, "Take these people here, take these people there," and when I would get the envelope, Johnny would go like, "So how much did you give the guys?" And one time it was Nana, Roger, but I had to drive Matt and Timmy. Timmy was late. And then we finally got him. We're driving. I'm like trying to get to the place. It's in New Jersey. It was a Tommy Jeanette show. And the whole way that Timmy's like, "You can't stop it like a McDonald's or something." Like, "Well, I got to starve to death." And I'm like, "Bro, you were an hour late." I'm like, "When we get to the show, we'll say hello. We'll go look for food." It was like in the middle of nowhere in the school. There was no food to be had. but I just drove to the show, and it was like that. So it was, and then they invited us to a bar after. There was like a party, and you could have like beer, soda, hamburgers, hot dogs, everything. It was all included.
So Timmy was all in.
So we're sitting at the table. It's me, Matt, Nana, Timmy, Roger, and Roger's girl that we were just talking about.
The one that he cock blocked you for.
Yeah, and Honky Tonk Man comes over. And
I heard you did a song with Honky Tonk Man.
Yeah,
what happened?
The honky. We'll get back to that. We'll get back to that.
So he goes, oh, I'm going to sit right here with my pal Bobby G, because he didn't like nobody. Yeah. He didn't like anybody. He sits down with us. The first thing, he goes, who's that woman? After all the guys introduced themselves, he goes, who's that woman? And Roger goes, that's my girlfriend. And he goes, you brought her to a wrestling show? And he goes, of course. We had to hear a whole friggin' story about Elizabeth and the Macho Man and how you don't bring a woman around all these guys and all that. And I'm just there like and Roger did not know. God bless him. He did not know that the Honky Tonk Man was talking about him. He's just there with a big smile on his face, like he didn't do nothing wrong. The story's going on for like ever. I'm there with just my head down, like whenever the hell anything went wrong, the guys always put their head down. I just got my head down, listening to this story. Then Jerry Lawler and Honky Tonk Man were like fighting with each other online.
What?
You don't know what the hell this is about, right? Could have been about anything. They could have been trying to make a match between the two of them, seeing if they had heat, whatever. Yeah. Timmy starts saying all this shit about Jerry Lawler, who is Honky Tonk Man's cousin.
Yeah.
He was saying all this shit about him, and I'm just like, oh my God. Like, so then Honky Tonk Man starts saying all this shit back. I'm just like, Jesus Christ, could everybody shut up? Like, I wasn't saying anything. When we got back in the car, Matt says to me, he goes, can I ask you a question? He goes, yeah. I said, yeah. He goes, Honky Tonk Man walked over to the table and made a point to say, I'm going to sit here with my buddy Bobby G. He goes, and you did not say 2 words the entire night. I went, you know why Honky Tonk Man likes me? He goes, why? I said, because I don't fucking talk.
Sandwiches.
I said, I don't say anything to the guy.
Right here,
I was like,
baby.
I don't say anything to the guy.
He keeps his mouth shut and knows the business.
So Bobby, man.
Yes.
We heard, who the fuck played it for us, Louis?
I don't know. I think it was Flex showed it to us.
Oh,
right?
that thing?
The fucking Sweet Bobby G and
Yes.
Honky Tonk Man theme song.
Yes. That's on YouTube somewhere. I think 8 people listen to it. Or
well, we
same 3 people listen to it like a million times. I'm sure Flex has listened to that a million times.
It can't be more than corner. Listen to the corner man every time I get it and send to my messenger.
The corner,
yo, I love it, but I pop every time I'm like, what the fuck is this? Who you gonna call that motherfucker?
Yo, that song is awesome, man. I still got.
I love it. I
still got his calendar on my fridge from like 2 years ago. Now.
Oh, yeah. The corner man is on. When one gets a message, the corner man plays. And we went to Atlantic City one time. Every time his brother or mother texted him, I was hearing the corner man. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. That shit was ringing in my head for weeks.
Oh, yeah, dude. I even sent him videos. I spliced the song and put videos for me and sent it to him. I did that a couple of times. Oh, you found it?
Excellent.
I'm waiting to hear Bobby.
Jesus Christ. Now we're going to get sued. Pierce just fell out of his chair.
You'll pop on in the bottom. You can't do that. Take it home. You guys are over an hour anyway.
Joey B used to crank call me, and when I used to call him out, he used to back down like a little homo like he is.
So before we
Shit.
go, what
Pause.
ended up happening with you and Joey B, man?
Yeah, what's the
You know
beef?
what the funny thing is? All the heat. I was not at Gleason's at the time. He was. I had left,
Why'd you leave?
and Flex. What?
Why'd you leave?
I you had to take a break, or else you would be ridiculous.
Okay.
There was always a time when you had to take a break. So I left for like a year and a half, and so Flex was booking, and
I can only
they were
imagine
making
the
a show.
shenanigans that were going on.
Yeah, they were making a show, but I know the story because they all told me that, like Juan and Flex told me the same story, so that I believe that's true. Joey B was teaming up with Jay Leno's.
Oh,
Jay
Hollywood
Leno's was back?
Jay Leno's, but Jay Leno's, because Flex used to call him Jay Leno's.
Yeah.
And
That-
he was
Wait,
not.
so that dude came back to wrestling.
Yeah, he came back for a while, but not the other guy, just him.
Dave
So Jay Leno's kept no-showing the school shows. So every time they put like him in a match, him and Joey in a match, he didn't show up, and then they had to figure out who was going to team up or what they were going to do.
Was Joey showing up?
Joey was showing up.
Okay.
So Flex and Johnny were working on the show, and they were like, what are we going to do here? Like, the guy never shows up. So it's a paper and I'm going to tell you another funny story about the paper in the room. It's a paper in the room. It's not like a program or anything. Mm-hmm. It's a paper on Johnny's wall, right? Yeah. So they wrote up on the top, and special guest star Joey B. Just because they didn't know where to put him, if his tag team partner was showing up or not. So they just write his name. So, Joey, everything he took like it was personal and like you were always making fun of him or whatever. So he saw that. He was like, oh, okay, they're going to make fun of me? Okay. And he left. And had nothing to do with me. That was when he posted a picture. It was like Johnny. He put like Johnny's face on a picture of a guy holding chains with slaves. And he put Juan's face and Flex's face on the slaves. And Johnny was like holding them, calling them slaves and everything.
That's awesome. Did he have a shirt?
I don't remember what the picture looked like. Joey was wild. Joey went for the HVAC test, and the fire department gives that test. So we were still talking, friends at the time. And I called him up, and I'm like, did you pass? And he was like, no, I failed. Those firemen got what they deserved at the fucking 9/11. I went, Joey, what the hell does that, like, you failed a test. What the hell is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Then another time he got mad at somebody at work. He made a website of a cannon shooting that guy. And like the guy that was like his boss at work that he hated. He was like, Joey, what are you doing?
That motherfucker would have been he would have been canceled nowadays. I seen Dark Side King Jeter. You know King Jeter? Dark Side, what's his other gimmick?
Oh yeah, the guy that lit Joey B's school on fire.
Did he really?
Yeah,
talking about the big
allegedly.
You talking about the big black dude?
Let's not get him. Let's not get him hemmed up. Allegedly,
let's say that. But he, somebody went in Joey's school and took the tag team belts and put them in the middle of the ring and lit the ring on fire.
Well, apparently, I seen a post that he put one time that Joey called him the N-word, called somebody else a spick, and like there was actual fucking
dreads.
Yeah. Basically, screenshots from conversations that they had, and I was like, golly, man, that's fucking crazy,
how did
bro.
the meeting get canceled?
I don't know. That's what I was trying to figure out, because especially in this and like that shit was just recently posted, and I guess he's still out there Johnny Cash.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't there when all that happened, and I don't remember what happened when. Like, I don't remember how the guy started to hate me. Like, what the hell I did. But
You don't
then
know. You don't know.
they
What you
used to
did that
leave
hate
the
you?
stupidest. They used to call me up and crank call me. They were
Calm
horrible.
down, Pierce. Calm down.
And I used to go, guys, like, if this was funny, I would laugh too. These are not even funny. But there were
Yeah.
times they would say shit, and I would call them out. And I
Trying
would
to
go,
rock me is
Joey,
sex
just
funny.
say that it's you. You know that it's me. Say that it's you.
Yeah.
At one time, I told Red Young, and Red Young was still talking to him. Joey called me up like a bitch. Bobby, it wasn't me. I don't know who's crank calling you. You're my friend. I was like, oh, because what the hell? I told Red. So he was saying that Red told him. That dude didn't know how to fight. Joey B was the worst fighter. We were in a club in New Jersey one time.
Yeah.
And I don't remember what me and Joey did, but the bouncer thought we were fighting.
Yeah, you gotta
So the
take him
bouncer
back.
comes.
This shit.
We weren't wrestling or anything like that. I don't remember what we did. It was stupid, like what we did. And the guy came running over, thinking we were fighting. And I was like, "Bro, we're not fighting. Calm down." And he grabbed Joey. Joey grabbed the guy around the waist and was trying to overhead suplex him. And I couldn't lift him up for shit. And the guy picked him up like a doll and threw him out of the club.
What an idiot. That's pretty funny.
That is pretty funny.
That was when Ricky Vega, and so I drove Ricky Vega, Juan, and Ricky Vega's brother, and we all went to this club. I think it was in Long Beach Island or something. And we go to the club, and Ricky Vega's brother wasn't old enough. He had the other brother's ID.
Yeah.
So it just looked like he lost weight,
Right.
So he shows the ID, and there was a cop at the front door. And the cop looks at the ID, and he goes, "Is this you?" And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "What's your birthday?" So he knows everything. It's his brother. So he goes, "Okay, I'll be right back." And the cop went to the car, and Ricky Vega's going, "No, I'll vouch for him. That's him." And he's saying this to the cop. The cop goes back to the car, comes back, and goes, "Do you know that your license is suspended?" And the brother goes, "Yes." And he goes, "For what?" And he did not know why the license was suspended. So
I'm like, I don't fucking know.
he just goes, "What?" And they got arrested.
For what? Just because he didn't.
Because he lied to a police officer.
Providing
So him
false
and
identification.
Ricky
And it was a
Vega
false
got,
ID
Ricky Vega
and
got
lied.
arrested too?
Ricky got arrested because he vouched for him and said that
Providing
that was
false
him.
identification.
That shit won't hold up though.
No, they got arrested. They went to the police precinct, wrote up whatever. Then they came to the club. They did let them out, and they did come back to the club.
Wait,
And
so
then
the
we
brother
hung out
still
for a
got in?
while. Huh?
The brother got into the club?
Yes, that's the wild part. Like, then there was nobody there. He just got in anyway. But all that nonsense. And then and then they had to go back like a couple of weeks later to go like before the judge. Yeah.
Isn't Ricky Vega a cop right now?
I know he was.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know.
Like in St. Louis or some shit like that.
I remember Juan was so drunk that I had to pull over like 3 times so he could barf. And Ricky was like yelling, like, "Bro, come on. Like, I just want to go home. Like, stop barfing." Because I just had to keep getting off the road so he could throw up.
Oh shit.
All right. Well, listen, we're already at an hour and 20, guys.
Yeah,
We're gonna have to wrap this bad boy up before Pierce pops in the bottom.
Would you like to come back on and finish this, Bobby, another time?
I
Yeah,
just came
sure.
on just to see Bobby. I was just in the background.
Can we do a part 2?
Sure.
Yeah,
I got enough. I could tell you a lot of stories
Bro,
about.
Yeah, we got to schedule part
I
2
know,
because
man.
we really didn't get into the Gleason stuff. Like,
No, what I was saying about the paper on the wall, there were so many times, and we could talk about it next time, but there were so many times like Johnny would tell me a story about somebody.
yeah,
Like, oh, the person did this. Like do you know the LA Gore story?
Yeah, they spelled my
Yeah.
name wrong.
He spelled his name
LA
wrong
Gore.
on a paper that's only in the dressing room.
Hi,
And
DDP.
Tommy Jeanette is going to go around to everybody and ask, how much do you weigh, where you're from, and if he doesn't know how to say your name, he's going to ask you. So L.A. Gore went up to Tommy Jeanette and was like, Tommy, my name is wrong on the paper. It should be this. So he was like, oh. So he's like, oh, you're L.A. Gore? So he kept going around to everybody. Do you know L.A. Gore? That's it. So Johnny was like, oh. So he tells me the story.
Hey, DDP.
And Roger came up to me at Gleason's, paper on the wall. And Roger, I spelled it musketeer, like the gun, not like the musketeer. I put like whatever it is, an E or an A, I put it wrong.
Yeah.
Musket.
So he comes up to me and he goes, Bobby, you spelled my name wrong on the paper. And I went, well, it says the musketeer. And he goes, no, it says the musketeer, not the musketeer. And I was like, and I went,
Fungu.
yeah. And I'm just looking at him and he's like, Bobby, you spelled, and I'm just like, I wanted to go like, but when I say it, I'm going to say the musketeer. Like, what the hell are you talking about? And he's like, but Bobby, you have to, it's a E or a, whatever the hell the right way is. He's like, you gotta fix that. And I'm like, what? I'm like, what are you like, what the hell? And I actually had to go over with a pen. He would not leave me alone until I went over and I fixed that one letter on a paper. But he was there when Johnny told the story about L.A. Gore. So it's like you telling the story about L.A. Gore and then you don't remember that story and you're friggin' telling me to correct a paper that nobody sees.
I was like, oh man, don't worry, I'm gonna fix it for you. Here you go. Crossed it out. Now you're not on the fucking show.
Now you're not on the show, asshole.
Now you had the pencil.
Kick rocks, bitch.
I couldn't go that far. The only person I ever told was not on the show was Gavin.
Oh yes, Gavin.
We had he didn't show up. We had already done the battle royal. He came in a trench coat, and under it was his wrestling outfit with all the bandanas tied around his legs like the Rockers. And
like
supposedly he had sold like 30 tickets. So he's like, but I sold tickets. I was like, buddy, the match you were supposed to be in already happened. It was the first one. You weren't here. What the hell am I supposed to do with you? And he went to Johnny and said, Johnny, you have to give me the money back because I'm leaving. I don't have a match. And Johnny went, are the 30 people going with you? And there was no 30 people. He just bought the tickets himself so he could have a match.
Ouch.
Well, then I'd be like, yeah, because I bought the tickets and, so I could be on this match.
He didn't want that guy was so strange.
Yeah, it was. Well,
what was his wrestling name? It wasn't Gavin.
Gavin. but we definitely called him it though.
Oh shit!
The names used to kill it. So many people got stuck with messed up names.
Yes,
Rolo Willie,
Booty Collins.
Booty Collins.
She went to go talk to Johnny. When she walked out, somebody was like, "Who's
Spanish
that?"
Flamingo.
And
Brandy Muffins.
Brandy Muffins.
Can it be worse than Spanish Flamingo?
Spanish Flamingo. If it wasn't for Angel,
Boogaloo Lou.
I would have been the Baron.
Yes, Baron Rothschild. I remember
me and Angel were in Johnny's office, and Johnny's going, Angel, Pa, look, it's the Baron. The Baron, like the Baron. And he's going like that, and Angel goes,
you have a smoking jacket?
Yeah. And Angel looks at him and goes, Johnny, that fucking sucks. Don't do that. And then he was like, Bobby, what do you want to do? And I was like, well, I dress like this and I talk like this and I'm like a wise ass. I get beat up. I never shut up, all that kind of thing. And Angel was like, what's your name going to be? I was like, I came up with, I don't know if it's good or not, like Sweet Bobby G. And, and this is like the stuff that I wear. And Angel was like, yeah, man, just do that because the Baron sucks.
I like to call him the kid, the kid.
The East Side Kid and
everybody was the fucking kid.
Hey, could have been worse.
What was
the kid?
Bad Boy, not Bad Boy Page. What was the other bad boy? The Bad Boy Kid or something like that. He came with
Bronx Bad Boy Page, and then there was
he came with Ricky and Minion.
B.A. Kid, and there was another bad boy.
Yeah,
there was the badass kid. The
bad kid.
Who the fuck was the other one?
No, I can't remember that.
That's a good story about BA Kid. I'll tell that. That'll be the last story tonight.
Okay,
Go ahead.
Gorilla Dizu was bouncing at a club in Astoria.
I was there.
So he came to me.
I was actually there.
He came to me and he was like, Bobby, I was bouncing. And BA Kid was sitting on this old man's lap that like he's gay and he brings drugs to the club.
Remember Dizu used to bounce.
BA Kid was sitting on his lap kissing him.
Yeah.
And, and the guy was giving him drugs. So I tell Louis this story. So I don't remember who Louis told. And BA Kid called me.
Louis was there.
I was there.
You were there?
I was at the club.
So did you tell me?
No, Dizu told, because Dizu told me. And he goes, yo, he's over there right now. And I looked, I was like, oh shit. And then Dizu went back and told you.
Yes.
I
don't remember how BA Kid found out that I knew, and I don't remember who the hell I told the story to. And BA Kid called me.
He probably told Flex. And Flex
probably. And then he told everybody.
Yeah, Flex told
everybody. And BA Kid called me and was like, Bobby, I thought we were friends. Like, why you got to talk shit? And I went, look, bro, I'm not talking shit. I wasn't there. Gorilla Dizu was there. And he told me. I said, so if you want to fight with somebody, yell at Gorilla Dizu. And honestly, if you don't want people talking about you, don't make out with some old faggot for drugs. And I hung up the phone.
Oh, no. All right. On that note, rest in peace, Gorilla Dizu.
Yes. Rest in peace, Gorilla Dizu.
Yes.
And Timmy also.
Yeah,
we talked about Timmy too.
Brother.
Yeah, but we got.
And rest in peace, Kaide Kid.
Yeah. And Little Tokyo.
I don't give a shit. I hope they just threw him out in the trash when he died.
Right? They probably did. By his ashy ass feet.
They just thought it was like somebody put a My Buddy doll in the trash that got burned.
This burnt Chucky doll. This burnt Chucky doll out.
All right, guys.
They thought it was a Gary Coleman doll.
Oh, shit.
On that note,
all right.
Sleeves.com, your one-stop shop for all your sporting needs. Use your promo code MWAPOD for your 10% discount.
Sleeves.
All right. Healthvape.com. Get your healthy vaping alternatives. Use our code MWAPOD for that 10% discount. Also, make sure y'all get
I just looked at your message, Angel.
Make sure y'all get on the MWA Podcast Network .com. Also follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/MWA World. Also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at MWA World. On YouTube, MWA Podcast Network. Check out all our shows on the network. I'm not going to go through that whole rundown because we're at an hour and 29 minutes. But thank y'all for tuning in. We do appreciate all of the time that y'all contributed to us. And Bobby, thank you for coming
We'll
on.
have a part 2 with Bobby G.
Bobby, you got any anything you need to plug, brother? You want to plug your current job?
I might just book you. I might just book you on the day I'm supposed to have Flex on the show because he no shows anyways.
I'll tune in that day. What day is that?
Because Flex always pulls a no show.
Louis got 142 days.
Yeah. Flex. Let's see.
Thanks, pops.
I got Flex on December 12th, so he might just no-show that day because he always no-shows.
Or you just, you could bring Bobby G because there's only a window that he can be on.
Yeah, Flex on, yeah.
Yeah, he's only allowed for a little while, so Bobby has to take over the rest of the...
Yeah.
Thank y'all for tuning in, guys. We do appreciate it. And we will catch y'all next week. And hopefully... Our guest will be Boofa. I'm gonna hit him up today.
All from China.
Make sure you wash your butt.
Boofa.
For Dr.
Chaos. More money is legal.
From All Money is Legal. So hopefully I'm gonna hit him up tonight but that should be our guest for next week. So make sure y'all tune in, and we'll see y'all next week.